Hey guys, it's Saturday night. Welcome to the stream. And tonight, yep, you see it. It's C++ time again. So we're going to do, hopefully, some changes in C++. Or at least we're trying to, but we are struggling because it's a long time and it takes a certain amount of time to get back into doing this in C++. For example, this part here. Okay, let me explain this, shall we? What I'm doing is we have this day-night cycle that's doing all of these calculations, right? And what we want to do is mimic it, right? And basically output the same things. Okay, so our sticking point at the moment is doing apparently not the modulo but the fraction. Okay, and the next thing we're going to do is this map ranged clamped. Okay, so we have been looking it up, and what we're going to do now is we're going to have to use this minute, right? But and we have this. Right? So we have the value last, right? So we have f vector, if I can type this, close that. So that's vector 2D, right? And we look at our code, our mappings number, and that is 0.0f, and 0.0f, comma 1.0f, right? Then we have another one, vector 2D, and we have 0.0f, comma 60.0f, okay, and then we pump in our value right? Which is going to be this thing here once we get it, and it isn't actually the minute. So it's going to be mod wonder f math then now what are these two? What's f mod? Returns the floating point remainder. Right. Right, so we'll try this one. And it's actually this here. Okay. Now, I'm not surprised that's shown an error, because we've not got this modulus part right yet. Int part. That should be int part. Right? So that's still not right. But we are working on it. Left operand has type float. Right, so that's okay. Because once we get that, we're doing floor. Okay. So we're flooring that whole thing. Okay. And we're saying this. Okay. Must have integral or unscoped enum type. Float and double. Okay. So let's keep going here. Right, so our thing here is, can this is a pain in the neck. Right, so we're going to cut that out. Then we're going to cut that out. Right. So that's 1, 2 open, 1 open, 1 closed, 1 closed. So we need 1 open. Right. And we need that. And we're going to say minute equals and that seems to be okay. I've got that little line there. Must have an integral or unscoped enum. Right, I'm not sure what that is. What it looked like in the thing I looked at was it looked like that. Right, but that doesn't seem right either. Okay, well, we'll keep going. So we've got our vector. And the question now is, if we do our is that going to work? Okay, so we're going to build this. Hi Grims. We're doing a bit of C++ optimization, or at least that's the plan, but I'm struggling since the last time I did any of this type of stuff. Right, illegal left operand has type float int to double. Right, so minute must be, yeah, okay. So it's in int to double. Okay, so we're not liking that. And our isn't a good. What we could do, right? We could do second, that's the float as well. Right. What we could do here is we could say, just for the sake of getting this to work, to see if we've done it right, is just do like f test and then say equals 1.0f. right? And then in here we do F test. Right, and that still appears to be wrong. Right, so we've got one open, two open. So those close off, those close off. We need another one. Right, so in theory, that works. Right? But we need this fraction part. Right? We simply need this fraction part, which is actually the modulus, or I believe it's this thing here. Right, but for some reason we don't do. I mean, what we could do right, there's another one we need to do here, right? And that's the modulus, right, of this. It's not this. Now, we can obviously make this into a temp variable. Right. So we do that. And then we bracket that, then modulus 60. And then that. Right, so what we'll actually do here is we'll put float temp mins right, and then we'll put float temp seconds, just for a laugh for now, right? So we'll say temp seconds equals that. Right, and basically we are floating that. Right, and now it's saying right, so we've got level, this one is wrong apparently, doesn't like this. 21. Doesn't like that. So I'm just wondering here, right, if I say, right, since it's not saying that line's wrong, so it doesn't mind this, doesn't mind that, right? But what it's saying is it doesn't like it still doesn't like that. Hey, addition is right. So, I'm never sure whether to use like fmath mod, then if I can use fmath floor, right, if I really want to use that, right? And it's a double. Okay, so as I said, in here, right, the question is, can I do, well, you see, that's not a problem. This one is not a problem. It's this one that's a problem, right? And you see, it doesn't like that either. Right? I'm wondering. Converts a double to the nearest less or equal to integer. Right. And I'm struggling. And I don't like struggling on streams. I prefer to struggle offline. So, Desnez, I know why you're here. So, I'm going to show you how to fix that issue. I'm going to build this first, right? As I said, this is on a copy of the. This is on a copy of the game directory, so it's not. I'm not actually changing the game here, right? What I wanted to do was basically get it working, do a little bit with this, and see if I can get it working. But C++ is not my forte at all. Now, if it had been C#, Visual Basic, or probably any other bloody language, it'd be okay. But C++ with its weird syntax and stuff just does my nut in. Right, so it doesn't like these for some reason, probably because I've not set them. right? And then we'll show the SNIS what he wants to know. It's just because I've forgotten a lot, right? At one point it wasn't great, but I could kind of get by. And I've forgotten it all. And the thing about C++ is you need to blooming reference everything, right? You need to constantly, when you don't know anything, nothing is obvious. You're just constantly referencing Google. What does that mean? How do you do that in C++? Right, but anyway, here's the point. We'll do this for now. Right, we can do selected viewport. And you will notice that my inventory and stuff is all working as it should, and you don't need to click on it for it to actually work. It is automatically done. So you will notice, walk up to there, right, and if we go to inventory, you'll notice we haven't clicked on anything and it's working, right, whereas before it wasn't highlighting anything. I don't know why I pressed the stop button, but I did. Okay. The worst thing about struggling with this C++ is the time goes by so bloomin' slow. Right, because I know I'm not making any progress, and you can see here as well, these are now all lighting up. So that's okay. And the SNIS, how did I do it? Well, actually pretty easily. For example, I can show you in the pawn, I believe. Right, this is for the inventory. Right. And this is what I do in all of them, in different places, right? So basically, I'll need to find it. Right, so it's not right. So initialize camera, we've got input actions, we'll go pick up, and really inventory is the only one that I do with this, right? But what we do is we set the input mode UI only. When we create it, we're plugging this in here. So after we create the widget, we don't do it in the widget, okay? That's why it wasn't working, right? So it's when we create the widget, straight after the add to viewport, we get our player controller, plug it into the player controller, we get our widget and plug it into the widget, okay? So I do the exact same thing in our storage container and crafting table, right? So here we do the exact same thing. We create the widget, then we immediately set input UI only, then put in the controller, and then connect the widget. And to show you the trifecta, we do the exact same thing in our crafting table. We create the widget, we connect it to set input UI only, get our player controller, plug it in, and that's it. Right, now before, what I was doing was getting the widget and trying to do it, right, which wasn't working obviously. So what one was it? Let's say crafting, right? So when we were doing crafting, we were doing it in the construct, right? We were trying to put it here at the end, which wasn't working, right? So what I did was move it out of here and did it when I actually created the widget, okay? And that gives focus to the widget, and that works. So the question is, do I want to continue struggling on with this C++? Because it is doing my sodding nothing. Right, because I believe, right, if we look at this, right, even just this, okay, even that, right, error. Okay, if we do this, we get the same error. Right, so we can do must have integral or enum type. Okay, so I'm guessing it seems to be okay. I kind of understand this, but kind of don't. Right. So this would, in theory, see that should in theory have worked. But it's still not right. Okay. So let's have a look at our code again, right? So that we can be further confused. Now that's a flow, and it converts it to an integer. Right? Okay. Right, so if you're not going to work, okay, so it's deciding it's not going to work, right? So let's muck around with it a bit and see if we can get it to do something we actually expect. So we've got 1, 2, 1, 2, right, so that's that there. So that's 1, 2, 1, 2. Okay. Say we change this to just a number, right? Say we say 1,000. So that's an int. Right, so in theory, if we paste that back in, that's the error. So if we say the integral part of that, or integer part, we can do it. Right? So, in theory, copy that, paste it there. This one works. Okay? So the interesting thing we can do now is if we build, we can actually test it. Not saying it's going to work, of course. It might. You never know. As I say, I'm starting to get, I'll have to get back into the C++, right? And it is a tricky subject to get into. It's tricky to get it working to start with, right? It does get easier. I do have to say that. It does get easier. Right, so what we're going to do is we're compiling this, and then once we're compiled it, what we'll do is we shall basically put it in here. After we calculate these, we can check these two values and then check it in our actual library, right? So we can calculate time, right? And find out oh, that's the wrong thing. Right, it's here. Okay. So we're going to put that there. Put that there. Right. And this delta seconds is going to go here. Then our cycle time is going to go here. Damn it. Remember, this will not get used here, so, like, well, it might, but it's going to replace all of this code here, and then it's just going to do that, right? So, we can now give this a go. Right, so our hour is 0, 11. And we have sod all. Hour is 11. Sod all, sod all, sod all. Okay. So we're going to stop that. Well, at least we know at the time. Well, it isn't. At least we know that it's not bringing anything back, which is cool. Right. That's a very interesting number. Ah, hang on a second. So we are setting the current time as well. So that this is going to be interesting. Okay. So the current time should be something, in theory. 44.44. Right, so that gives us something. Right, it is completely different. Now, I'm guessing. So 0.33 so that's about, I believe that's about 44. Yeah, that's the 44. Right? 44 plus current time. Right, okay, well that tells us something. So apparently, wait a minute. Right, if I resume that, right, and it breaks again, we've got 5.33. Alright. There's our 5.33. Well, the easiest way to do it is basically delete all the references first, or replace the references, but if you don't, then it has to do it It just has to take its time and go through the deleting stuff. There's no easy fix to it, I'm afraid. Now the interesting thing here right is we're passing in the right number, but this current time seems to have a number to start with, right? So the interesting thing is when we pass in the current time, yeah, we actually need the current time in as well. Right, and then we need to set the current time on the way out. Right, so basically back in here, right? And how do we get it so we are a current out? Oh, this has been a nightmare. Right, so what we're trying to do here is get an actor in, an actor out. Right, so these are the outs. This should be that should be an out. Current time, if we look at this, right, current time is an output. I suppose the way to do this would be to do new current time. Right, so to define this as new current time. Right, and for a test purpose to set the new current time in this, in here. I'm guessing it's not in there. Right, so current, this one here is to do another one. So it'd be current time in, right? Oh, I suppose what, actually, you know what we could do? what we could do is just do an input on that, right? So we could do float old current what is going on? Right, so old current time. And this. I'm going to copy that. Then we're going to paste it there. Right. And then we're going to take that out of there. Then I'm going to tidy this up a bit. And we're going to have to put this copy that and basically paste it here. What the hell? I guess that's got a yep. So we can take this out and I'm going to build that for a laugh. Just driving me up the wall. Yeah, that's what I told them, ZS. You gotta delete all the references that it's well, all the things that it's referencing to get it to delete and it depends what type of thing it is as well, right? I normally find that it doesn't crash, but you might be using Unreal Engine 5 and that's the problem. What I do tend to find is it takes a while, more than frig. It tends to take a while rather than actually crash. Right. This is what I hate about C++ as well. Having to compile every time and all this nonsense. It just does me nothing. Compiling issue is the fact that I'm not very good at C++ and can't remember how to do it. So there's syntax errors all over the place because I keep forgetting to put semicolon at the end, I keep forgetting to put a comma in, I keep forgetting to do this and do that, and it takes me a while to get back into it. So we'll fix it anyway. Right now, in theory, right, there we go. Right. Okay, so we can plug this in here and then it should calculate out the new one. No, it shouldn't. I'm talking bollocks. Yeah, probably, but since I don't use C++ very much, it ain't gonna make any difference, mate. And in theory this isn't going to work either, because this will be updated before I get the chance to get this number in, right? But it would work if we were kind of doing it right. Right, like actually getting this number. And probably that's what we want to do, actually. Right, so probably we want to do that as stage 1. Right, so basically we can do that, and we can do that, and we can do that, and then we can check it here, right? Disable breakpoint. Right. Press play. Okay. 11553. Right. 11553. Right, that's a load of bollocks. One 133.14. .89. Well, that's all well and good, ZS, but I'm not using Godot, so it doesn't really make any difference to me what it's good at. So we're getting 1.89, okay? Ah, but we're not passing it in. Yeah, actually that's not a bad idea. I might actually be able to... There's a few things here that it's not going to do, but... Right. So this number should be getting passed in. Yeah, I mean it does work to a degree, but... Well, we could try it. We could try a live experiment. Here we go. Right. C plus plus fun that returns fractional part of a number. Oh, that's interesting. Ah, that's that's us calling the functions, isn't it? In theory, this would work. Yeah. What we could do copy that, right? So you could say, right, for a fractional part with float input. Right, okay, don't get smart with me. Right, so it's just using the same thing. Right, it's just using this int part. Right, so in theory we could make some progress with this. Right. So we do the int current time and the hour is an integer, so that's why that works. So that is absolutely cool. Right, so our next problem is the f mapped ranged value clamped. Oh, bloomin' heck. That was interesting. How to use C++. Ah, have I stumped you this time? Wouldn't have thought so. How? Oh, right, okay. It's clever, but it's not clever enough to bloody scroll the page down. Double, double. Unite this NIS, or the 5 NIS, or whatever you want. Oh, there you go. So it's guessing. Right. So, see, here's the thing. Why does it do that? Why does it not, how to use, paste that in Unreal Engine. Right, so it does know about it. Right, this looks like it maps the value to input to the output using this takes 2 vector 2s, right, we've done that. Right, what is the output going to be? It's a float, right? Right, so that's what we do. Here's the function. Right, it's a float. We do our in max, out max, and then it decides to jump down. And value. Right. So, in theory, right, in theory, this should be old, current, should be this, right. Right, and this should be, this is annoying as hell. Right, so where was I? Old current time. Right, so this should be old current time. And then current time should be this time, which is right. Right? I'm just doing this to get more practice in doing C++. I've got a couple of projects that I did C++, and I got a kind of semi-grasp of what I was doing. I was still wasn't anywhere near good at it, but at least I could get things done faster than this. But you just need to go through the pain of getting stuff to work. Right, so that worked. Right. And we should now be able to stop that, then press play again. Right, now, the interesting thing is, right, there's our 11,100 and oddie blooby blibs. Right. So we've got our 11,600 and bloody bloop, right? And then we've got our delta settings, which is 0.4, and our cycle speed, which is another number, which is decided not to bother telling us. Right, so 0.4133, right? So that gives us 5.3. So we get 11,500 and odd plus 53, I believe, to give us 11,605. Right, because it's actually updated it at this point. And there we get our number, 11,605. So we're calculating that correctly now, 11,605. So that, my friends, is a success. We have done successfully one calculation. We are keeping it real. Now our server time interval is 11,605, right, which is basically the same number. So that's 2 out of 2. Right, but the problem now is these. Oh my god, we've got the hour. Cometh the day, cometh the hour. That's 0. That's 11. That's sod all. That's sod all, but that's okay. Right, because if we notice, this is 0. This is another number, right, which we're going to step over, right, and that should say 11. Ho, look at that. We have 4 numbers correct. Not many to go now. The crowd go wild. Oh, we're looking for 36. Okay, and then we're looking for 18. Now, that doesn't say that at the moment, but once it does, we're going to be some happy bunnies. So what I've got to do is get this fractional part, okay? But we're going to do that after I go and get a cigarette. So if you're enjoying the stream, hit like, subscribe, check out the description for links to the game's Discord, my Discord, Patreon, previous game on Steam, and link to the website. Yeah, I know I can get the functions working in C++, it's just getting back to doing it, you know, it's just getting the syntax right, how to do the function, how to, you know, get the inputs and outputs right, blah 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 in C++, right? It isn't a matter of the fact that I can't do it. Alright ZS, thank you for the like, mate. As I said, it's not a matter of doing it. I know I can do it, I've done it before, right? I've done much more complicated stuff than this, but it's just I did it so long ago, and you know what it's like with Unreal Engine, there's so many things. right? That you're working on something for a week and then you don't touch it for months. And then you go back to it and you can't remember how to do anything. That's just the way it is with Unreal Engine, right? You get better at remembering stuff, but you can never remember all. It's just far too big a subject, you know? Right, I shall be back in 2 minutes. Going to grab myself a cigarette. Don't go anywhere, folks. Alright guys, we are back, and I just had an epiphany outside, right? Now, here's the thing. To make this more efficient right away, we actually don't need to even do this function, right? But we're still going to do it because it will make it even more efficient, right? But the point is, right, that this calculate time, okay, doesn't need to be on here. This is on event tick, right? It doesn't need to be on event tick. It's calculating the time every 60th of a second, right? But we're only outputting seconds. So what's the point? of doing it, these are the things you've got to look at, especially if you're looking at assets. And then when you're doing these things yourself, right? It's like, why is this even running on tick? Right? We could quite safely, on begin play, right? We could literally just do custom event, right? And we could call it EV calc time. Okay. Then we could take that off, bring this down, bring this back to here maybe. We could put it anywhere, but in here we could actually just set timer by function name. Right? And I'm going to guess that this would have absolutely zero impact. Call it EV calc time. Right? And we could set it to, let's say, 0.2. So it runs 5 times a second instead of 60. We could probably even set it to just do it every second. Right? We could play about with that, right? And then what we could do is we can just say calculate time. Right? And then literally we can do that and do that. Right? We'll leave it in there for now, but we can do that. And we have literally saved ourselves a crap ton of time. Right, now, as I said before, we could literally set it to a second, right? So it only updates once per second. Because that is the... what's the word I'm looking for here? That is how far we are drilling into this, right? We're only ever bringing back seconds, or minutes, or days, or hours. It's never going as granular. It's never going any further granular. How do you make bridge log fall? Switch on its physics. Is the simple answer. Right? So if we run this every second instead of every 0.2 seconds, or every 60th of a second, right? Then we are saving all these calculations. It depends what you want to do. If the log falls, right, you just get it when it collides with the player to switch on its physics. And if the player's physics is already on and it's now a hole, your player will fall down as well. Or that's the way it should work. Right? So in theory now, right, this should make absolutely zero difference. But The interesting thing is, are we going to get a nice speed increase? Probably not, or probably not to the fact that we'll see it. There will definitely be a speed increase, right? But we're probably going to have to do it in standalone mode. Right? So what we'll do is we shall run it in standalone mode and check it, then we'll switch the function off plus the timer by function name off and see what frame rate we get when we do that. Right, that's the only way we're going to know if we actually get, as I said, I'm not expecting a lot, maybe a frame, maybe, which is going to be hard to tell, but any increase is going to be better than nothing. Right? So, if we hit start FPS, right? So we're hovering on the 20 to 21 milliseconds, okay? As I said, I'm just going to be trying to basically, so we're going to take that out, we're going to move this to here, right? We're going to compile that, we're going to go back to here, we're going to remove that, then we're going to plug this back in, we're going to save that, and then we're going to try it again. So we're doing it in 20 to 21 milliseconds, okay? That was our kind of target, or our benchmark, right? That is our baseline benchmark. Right. Right, so we're going to turn around, we're going to hit our button, start FPS, and look at that, we're down to 19. We're down to 19, guys. Pretty cool. Right? Oh, wait a minute. That doesn't make any sense. We expected that to go up. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. That's maybe because we were doing this and we had the function in, a water cooled 980 Ti. Right, what I'm going to do is I'm going to do that, right, and now I'm going to remove this, right, because it was running through that calculation, which may have been having an effect on us. Right. Now this would be incredibly bizarre, right? If we're running a function once instead of 60 times per second, and we were getting a faster frame rate. There's actually two. I've got two water cooled 980 Ti's in it, but it doesn't take advantage of that, you know, so hey ho. Right, so now again, start FPS. That's absolutely bizarre. Right, I do not understand that one little bit. Right, there's no way that should be faster. That's impossible. Right, let's do that again, right? We'll put that back. Right? And we'll take this off again. Right, so this is like the original version. Okay, so this is running like, unless, nah, I can't see it. Unless that tick is set up to a different number. Unless that tick isn't actually running at 60 frames a second or whatever it's trying to do. Right? 1, 2. Turn around, facing the wall here. Then we do start FPS. I don't believe my eyes. According to this, running something all the time is faster than running it once every 60 seconds, once a second, right? Unless this tick is not firing all the time. Right? Or it's not doing this. Nope, because it's always doing that. Right? It's always doing that. Wait a minute. There is a possibility that it's not doing. Yeah, but then it's going to do that, isn't it? Right, so this is saying if I have authority, which I always will, right, because it's single player at the moment, so it always is true. Right, and if we're using dynamic weather, right, and then it's coming through here. Now this is the point. I can only assume that it's not using dynamic weather. And then it's calculating time. Hi Rick Henderson. This is still bizarre. Yes, done it. And the problem is we don't have one particular issue. We know which, there's about 3 or 4 blueprints that are causing us problems. This is one of them. Right. It's basically all the yeah, it's all the weather stuff, the ocean stuff. It's basically your usual suspects. So we know where the problems are. I was just having a little bit of fun tonight with this, and then trying to get back into C++ crap, which was probably not the greatest of ideas, but anyway. So we've got this, and our next thing is to get this, right? And it's the fractional part. So we know how to do that because Chat GPT told us how to do it, right? Now we know that we need to get this, right? Well, actually, that's the wrong one. That's the mapped values. Oh well. Right. It was this one here. Right, so I'm guessing it's the one up a bit. Right, this is the fractional part here, so we need this part. Okay, so it's actually the hour that we're getting here. Right, so if we say int hour, and that's not actually going to be a float. That's going to be an int, right? And then we say int hour equals int hour actual, yeah, okay, we'll do that first. So we say int hour equals integral part of int hour, and then we say minute equals actually, right, we need a float. Alright, and we'll call it if minute. Right, getting too tired. So what we want to do here is we want our minute to be, if we look at our blueprint again, right, and I believe it's this, right, it's this thing here, right, so current time is a float. Okay, so current time, so it's basically this, except we don't float it, right? So we say that is that right, we've got to do that and that, oops, that minus int hour. Okay, and then that is going to give us the fractional part. Okay, so we can delete these two, and then we can do that, and that is going to be minute. Okay, and if that works, we're in business. Okay, so we'll save that, we'll build the solution, and we'll see if our minute becomes a minute. So we'll go back to our blueprint and we shall basically plug us back in. I've told you before, Quit, you never need to apologise for not joining a stream. It's your time. I appreciate anybody coming into a stream. Right, so now what we need to do is check our minutes against what these ones say. Now, if I've done this right, our minute should be the right thing. Okay. We're getting on in time tonight. Have we bleeped? Apparently not. Unreferenced in our F minute. Okay. So we're not using that, but we probably should at some point. Oh God, we're going to have to build this again. So the good thing is that if this works, we should be able to just do this. Basically the same thing again, but for the seconds. Okay, Quit abandoned. I'll see you the next time you're in, don't worry. Right, so we've succeeded this time, right? So that's all good. Thank goodness for that, right? And what we want to do is we want to find out what this calculates out to be the minutes against what this one does, right? So we can press play. We don't really need to do this as standalone, but since we're just testing this, we'll see what it does. See what numbers we get. Should be interesting. Right. Come on. The good thing is about this is it's easy for me to actually just copy and paste this onto Notepad and then copy it into the actual project when I'm kind of happy with it. Where's the breakpoint? We're running in standalone mode, aren't we? The interesting thing here is if I do start FPS, we're getting the better speed again, right? Even though we're running kinda more code, right? Which is bonkers, but anyway. But we're going to have to run it in not standalone mode. And there we go. Minutes are 33. What we're going to have here, 0, 11, 0. That's not great. Okay guys, I'm going to leave it there for tonight. I'll do it maybe a little bit more work. It's getting late here, so I'm losing concentration. As you do, you've got to take a break for that, especially when you're trying to do C++ and you're trying to remember everything. So I'll try to get this working before tomorrow afternoon, and hopefully tomorrow afternoon at 2 PM I shall be able to show you the finished function. And with any luck, we'll have gained a frame or two. As I said, I doubt it, but the more changes we make to this, we've got this particular blueprint has an absolute crap ton of calculations in it. So this was the very first one I've looked at, and I knew I was going to struggle, but we'll get there. We'll get there, and we'll start getting better at doing the C++ and getting the syntax right first time, instead of, you know, basically failing every other time. So if you enjoyed the stream, hit like and subscribe. Thanks, Cybershell. Yeah, so anyway, hit like and subscribe. Check the description for links to the Discord for the game, my personal Discord, plus Patreon, my previous game, which is on Steam for $1, which is called FTD2, and you'll find also a link to our website for the game. So thank you guys for watching. I appreciate it a lot. I enjoy the comments, like to see the comments, and I shall see you all tomorrow at 2 PM Central. Bye bye for now.